Yes, I am wearing the same shirt from the last video. It's because I'm filming them both on the same day. Anyway, edgy characters are something that is kind of a taboo in the Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight? I have so much fucking brain rot, bro. Take 3! Anyway, edgy characters are a common taboo in the Dungeons and Dragons community because they are often played by people who are extremely frustrating to deal with. And today we're going to go through what the biggest mistakes of playing an edgy character are and how to fix all of those mistakes.
Riser, double.
I take how much damage? So why are edgy characters often considered such a problem in Dungeons and Dragons? Well, the main reason being is because a lot of edgy characters, or a lot of players who play edgy characters, love to be the protagonist. Now, someday I'm going to go through like a list in maybe one video, or I'll make it a series where I talk about problem players in Dungeons and Dragons and how to handle them. But the protagonist, or the hero, is basically somebody who wants all of the story to be about them. Anytime any of the other characters get any sort of spotlight, the protagonist will leap from the ashes of whatever crusty Cheeto dust caked thing on their fingers they haven't washed their hands in 3 days, and to be like, actually, my character will step in and fight the evil queen. And then when the paladin is like, the evil queen is part of my backstory, this is my resolution, the edgy character will be like, well, actually, I'm super dark edgelord shadow queen Elizabeth, and I have the great 92 plus 92 sword of darkness. And the GM's like, no, you don't. You didn't, you didn't get that. And the reason the protagonist thing kind of comes up is because whenever the edgy character is trying to describe what their character is doing, they don't actually have anything. They don't have a real backstory. You can guarantee that there's going to be some sort of, loner stereotype thrown in there. My parents were killed when I was very little, and I was raised by wolves in the alleyways of the city. I jumped from place to place at the age of 4 years old and stole everything in sight. I will begin to destroy this world and rebuild it from the ashes. Like, what? You're level 2, dude. You were not stealing things at 4 years old. You were not a master thief. It's a real backstory I had one time, by the way. In any case, one of the big reasons is that because there's no solidified backstory, there's no goal, there's no actual kind of explanation of who this character is, the only thing they have left is to overtake everybody else's story, including the main story of the campaign. The protagonist is a type of player that very often tries to derail the DM's campaign in favor of trying to make their character look super awesome. And this ties into the edgelord player, or the edgy character, because they have not given it any definitive traits. They haven't given it a goal. They haven't given it a real personality outside of, I am important, I am super strong. The other thing that I really don't like about edgy characters, and that most people don't like about edgy characters, is they don't work well with the party. They are very often overstepping their bounds, trying to fuck the party over for no better reason than LOL they can. And very oftentimes they will fuck the party over, even if it's completely unintentional, because they can't handle things like their character being talked down to, or their character not being in the center of attention. Playing the edgy character is something that isn't necessarily a bad thing. There is a right way to do it, and I'm about to give you 3 steps to do so. Number 1, give your character a real backstory. I'm going to hand you a very simplistic backstory for the loner type of character, and don't worry, we'll fix that loner problem in just a little bit. Whenever you are building your character's backstory, you can do something like giving your character the death of the parents and the orphanage type of background. It is perfectly okay to give your character dead parents and say that you grew up on the streets, but don't start chucking in that your character was this massive prodigy jumping from building to building like a reverse Batman and stealing everything that wasn't tied down, the tiny shadow of the village or whatever, right? Try to give your character a little bit more nuance. Maybe they were raised on the streets, but they were raised by the local homeless population, or they could have been taken in by the local thieves thieves guild when they were very young. Making your character an orphan is perfectly fine, but you need to tie your character to other people. It's okay to be the loner stereotype, but the loner isn't alone for their entire lives, especially not at super young ages like 4 to 5, especially not when they're a human character, which these things often are. They're not human, they're also elves, which is also an entirely confusing narrative. Make sure that your backstory well rounds out how your character became a loner. Maybe they were raised by the local homeless population, but after a while they decided to go their own way because they felt like a burden on the people who had stepped in when their parents were taken away from them. Number 2 is to provide a goal, and that backstory I just gave you was perfect. The goal is to find who killed their parents, or perhaps even find the evidence that will put them away. Maybe the person who killed their parents is a powerful crime boss that no one has ever been able to touch, and so your character is adventuring in order to get what is necessary to put this person away or even take them down for good. Perhaps your character is out looking for an opposing crime guild, an opposing thieves guild, in order to join and work their way through the ranks. This can easily be worked in by your DM. Let's say you join a thieves guild in the next kingdom over, but you ask for permission in order to travel with your party so that you can build the skills and get the coin and the equipment to eventually expand their reach into the other kingdom. Many thieves guilds and many crime syndicates are going to be thrilled with the idea of expanding their reach. They might have to test you first, and hopefully your party will be okay with your character having to stay in this kingdom to go through those tests and maybe even help out with those tests. Work with your DM to try to figure out how your character can get their get back. And just don't step on everybody else's toes. Which leads me to the final piece of advice. Give your edgy character a heart. Maybe they are a loner type. Maybe they're only with these group of people for their own benefit. But have them become attached to the party in some way, even if it's only one member. Have a moment of panic whenever the druid gets hurt, as they frantically try to see what they can do to heal them, yelling at the cleric to hurry up because they're going to die as the cleric is working their magic. Maybe they become in love with the barbarian, as the barbarian and them share many moments together. Having your character be a loner doesn't mean they're a raging dickhead who's going to screw over their party every chance they get. It just means that they don't know how to love quite yet, and they don't know how to have companionship. In a game like Dungeons & Dragons, the entire point is a collaborative story effort. And so, make sure that your character is able to be part of that collaborative story by attaching them to the party and the party's goals. Everything is about what is best for the party. Even when your character goes to become a part of the guild that they want to become a part of so they can take down this other guy, maybe they open up to the party and talk about how they want to take down this other guy, and the party might stop them. Don't join that guild. We'll help you kill that dude. Let's just get this over with first. And maybe he comes to trust them. But that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you think down below. What's your experience with edgy players playing edgy characters? I do want to know. And as always, I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one.